So the end of another module, and can we remember what we covered? That's a good job we got the slides here to give us a few clues. Oh, and it looks like we covered the PS command. So yeah, the PS command, which we can run to go through and look at our process status. So get an idea of what processes are being used and what resources in use by those processes. As we start to run through this, we can see that we have different styles of options that we can apply. So here we're looking at the Unix style with the single dash. PS-ELF is going to give us a listing of all of our processes, a long listing with a full listing as well. We can use the BSD options and we can get similar output to the above command using PS-AUX. We can see here we're not using the dash at all and it's still correct. We also have the GNU, the not Unix options, and here we have the long option of --forest, so we start using words rather than just simple single characters. So here we can kind of get a bit of a tree layout of our processes. But remember, we do actually have the PS tree command, which is probably easier than PS --forest. We were looking at the proc directory, and if we remember, within that directory we have subdirectories that represent our running processes. And we also looked that we could use the $$ variable. So if we went through to cd/proc/$$, well, $$ is a variable that holds our current running process ID. So if we're working within a bash shell, that's going to be the process ID that represents our bash shell. We could also go through and take a look at where the process ID numbers come from. So the last process ID that is used is stored in the /proc/load average file, and it's actually the very last field of that file. Then it was death and destruction, the kill command. The default signal, if we just use kill and then a process ID, is to send a terminate signal through to that process. But we can look at all of the signals that are available. But remember, just because the signals are available to kill, it doesn't mean a process will respond to that signal. So all really is the matter here is looking at what the developer has put into the program to listen for. So kill -L will show us all possible signals that we can send, but mainly we won't be able to send most of those signals to most applications. Some of the common signals though, so the default signal is -15, which is to terminate. But remember, we can use -15, -term or -sigterm. And the PID would be the process ID of our current application, or the application we want to kill. Kill -9 then is to properly kill it. If it doesn't respond to the terminate, then we can try to kill it. And here we're going to dig it up by its roots, which is really going to get rid of it. We can go kill -kill, kill -9, or kill -sigkill. We also have signals that we can send through shortcuts from the desktops. And we've seen that we can do things like a Control-C, which is sending an interrupt. And we'll see in the next module, when we start looking at backgrounding tasks, that we can use a Control-Z to go through and send a suspend notice through to a process. But we can look then at those keyboard shortcuts using STTY-A. We're seeing that very often with the PS command that we're going to pipe it through to grep so we can get then certain process IDs only being returned. However, if that's what we want, then we have our P tools. So we've got tools such as pgrep. But very often while we're grepping for those services is so we can get their process IDs so we can kill them. Well then, quite simply, use pkill. And we can see some examples. We were getting then a extra full listing. So we could use PS -F and -P for the process ID, but looking at the output of pgrep SSHD. So we go through and search with pgrep for all of the process IDs for the SSHD, the SSH server, and we can pass those through one at a time to PS -F -P. When we're looking at killing, we were running then the sleep process as a background task, but if we wanted then to terminate all of those, we can use pkill and sleep. So really simple shortcuts that you're going to absolutely love if you hadn't come across them already. We're about to transition into the next module, and in the next module we're going to look at managing our process priority. So buckle up and get ready for this.